as you guys had those exhibitions in Europe, I guess just how'd those go? What did you guys see that you liked? What do you guys think you're working on?
I think it was a great experience. There was a lot of great talent out there, and you're playing against professionals, and they're grown men, and got a lot of strength. But it was a good opportunity for us to just see where we were at and get a head start on the season.
Hunter, Jason, what did you guys take away from that?
Yeah, I think it was really good for us to be able to get some games so early on in the season, to be able to kind of give us a measuring stick of where we are and where we need to be. I think definitely our first game in France gave us a little bit of a reality check that, we still have a lot of work to do. Thankfully, there's still a good month or so before the season starts, and, there's still time for us to fine-tune some things, but I think it was just a great overall experience for us to grow together on and off the court.
Yeah, backing off what they said, I think it gave us an opportunity to see where we were as a team, but it also, I think it put us ahead of schedule, especially like from previous years, like here in August, playing against professional teams. You don't play against a team until, at best, late October for a scrimmage, and that gave us a 2-month advance, so I feel like it definitely gave us a gauge, and now we know what we needed to do. And I feel like every day we're going into practice and executing it. We have different things that we want to address each day, either if it's going over plays, ball screen defense, and that stuff. So I feel like if we keep on doing that, getting 1% better each day, makes us excited for the season for sure.
Hey, Hunter, first off, can you guys make sure you're speaking into the mic? It's kind of hard for us.
I feel like, is this, it's on. I didn't think it was, all right.
There's like a little speaker down here.
Bet, for sure.
Hunter, what was the process like for you to make the decision to ultimately come back, and what were sort of the final factors for you?
I think it was a lot easier this year than last year. I feel like with this year, I just really didn't feel like I was done with the college as a whole yet. I feel like there was still more for me to do here. I really enjoy my time at Michigan, and so it kind of makes it easy for me to come back. It's not like, I hate the campus or I hate Coach Howard or stuff like that. I really enjoy being at the University of Michigan, and I feel like there's just more for me to do here.
Kind of piggybacking off that, though, this time last year, if you can remember, it kind of seemed like you thought maybe it would be your last year. Is that fair to say?
First off, Andrew, I love the mustache.
My wife is really into Halloween. Ted Lasso.
It's a Top Gun.
I think, wait, can you repeat the question? I'm sorry, the mustache was kind of...
You just said now that the decision was easier to come back, but if you can remember this time last year, it kind of seemed like you thought it would be your last go-round. Is that fair to say? I guess?
Yeah, I said that, and, I at the time I thought it was going to be my last year, but, I guess things changed. I was never like, this is going to be my last year, I'm leaving no matter what. I think, because like I said earlier, I like Michigan so much that, the door is always open for me to come back. And so for that, I think, I didn't ever put the pressure on myself that it was going to be my last year regardless.
What role did NIL play in your decision? Did that make it easier?
It definitely made it easier. I think without NIL, it would have been definitely a harder decision to make. But now, with the opportunity to make money while you're still in college, I think that definitely helps my decision and other guys like me.
What's the coolest thing you bought with the NIL money so far?
My Bronco. I love my Bronco, so yeah, that's where we're at.
Could you sort of maybe describe how your NIL path has gone from when it was first implemented to where you are now with it?
I'd say we've grown a lot from the University of Michigan with NIL. I think at first it was like they weren't trying to embrace it. I think now that we're a year into it, I think Michigan now knows that they have to embrace it more because it's what college basketball and college athletics is at this point. And so I think we're doing a better job of adapting. I think there's still a lot of room to grow.
Who do you rely on to help you with that kind of stuff?
I just got Engage. It's a company called Engage. My guy Daniel is helping me now.
I wonder how you've seen your role sort of change throughout the years. Obviously, freshman, tremendous success, All-American last year, a key piece. But now it's interesting, like you have grad transfers who have a lot of experience but maybe haven't been in this program. no seniors on the team. I mean, what do you see your role as a leader?
Yeah, my role has definitely changed a lot over my 3 years. I came in as a freshman who just wanted to be a sponge and try to soak up all the information from, my older teammates, because we were a really experienced team my freshman year. We had a lot of great leaders: Isaiah Livers, Eli Brooks, Mike Smith, Sean D. Brown, Austin Davis. I mean, I felt like the whole team was like a senior. And now that I'm a junior, I feel like now that I'm that leader for the team and somebody that the other younger guys look to for advice. Thankfully, I got me, Jace, and T. Will, guys that have been here for 3 years that also know the system, but I also got guys like Jaelin and Joey who, are super old and feel like they're like 30. And so they bring a lot of great experience and leadership as well. Jaelin and Joey have played a lot of college games, and so they bring a lot of great experience that, the younger guys will be able to look forward to and ask for help.
How much do you sort of relish that role now that it's certainly your time?
I think last year I didn't embrace it as much. I think this year I just embraced it because I know how important it is for the team and how important that if we want to win and be a better team than we were last year, how important the leadership role will be. So that's something that I've really tried to embrace and grow.
How come last year? Do you think maybe sophomore, maybe you felt you weren't quite ready, or why do you think there was a little waver there?
Yeah, I think it was just I just got a little bit more mature. I feel like with age, something that I didn't really realize at first, something that I didn't think was as important as it is now. And so I think just growing with age, something that, you mature and become more of a leader and more dependable for the younger guys.
Jaelin, Coach talked about you becoming accustomed to what the system is and your role. What did that process entail, and how easy has the transition been to fit into what Michigan's backcourt looks like?
Yeah, I think it's been a smooth transition. I played a lot of college basketball, and it's basically just trying to get the flow of the offense and figure out how to gel with the guys on the team. And I think it's been pretty smooth so far. And definitely playing overseas helped us because it gave me that chance to get out like the first time jitters of playing with a new team and stuff like that. But I think I'm fitting in well.
How easy was it to see how much of a winning program this has been in the recent years, and how appealing was that for you to land here?
It was apparent before I even stepped on foot on campus. This is a program I want to be at because of the history of winning that has been in this program for years. So it's an honor to be here, and I can't wait to do my part to help.
Hunter, you're obviously one of the most dominant bigs in the league this season, but how important do you think it is, especially this season, for Big Ten teams to have a dominant center on the court?
I'd say it's, the Big Ten is always known for its great big men, and so I think if you don't have a great big man, you're always going to be put at a disadvantage because I feel like you're always going to have to play catch up with the other teams. And so I think having a good big man is an advantage, and thankfully we have two, myself and Terrace Reed, who's a freshman, and so I think that's a big advantage for us and something that we'll look to use in the season.
This is the third different point guard you're going to be doing a lot of pick and rolls with in your 2 years. What's that transition like, and kind of getting to work with a new point guard every year?
It's like I'd say it's a little bit challenging, at first, because you got to try to meet the person and kind of, build that relationship with them. I think, Jalen's been a real down-to-earth guy, and, I could, from my visit, I felt like it was somebody from his visit, it was somebody that I think we could gel well with, somebody that's really just down-to-earth and really approachable, and somebody that I really enjoy hanging out with off the court. So I think that's something that's really big. If you can hang out off the court with them, then, it's easier to play on the court with them.
Hunter.
We just hang out and
Jagged Fork.
go to Jagged Fork, shout out, or just go out and hang out and stuff like that. Go to football games.
Hunter, Steven Crowell isn't necessarily one of the most dominant bigs in the league, but you guys did go head-to-head last year, and I was wondering what stood out about that when you guys were going head-to-head. about him? Sorry.
He's a big that can stretch the floor. He's able to shoot, and so that puts more of a stressor on a defense. When you have a big man like that who's versatile, who can play inside and out, obviously changes, the way you guard and stuff like that, and pick and roll and things. So it adds another dimension to their offense and makes us work a little bit harder.
Jace, last year you played about 4 different positions over the course of the year. Where have you kind of been working in the last couple of months? And then as a follow-up, what has it been like to have Jet with you for the last few months?
Well, to answer your first question, not much has changed. Some days I'll be playing the 4, some days I'll be playing the 3s. Even sometimes I'll be getting reps at the 2. But for me, it's just being able to make sure I'm ready for when my name is called. So just learning all those positions, learning throughout the plays and stuff like that, because I feel like my role on the team is being a versatile guy, and mostly it's probably going to expand this year in terms of what they're going to ask from me on the defensive end and also on the offensive end in terms of guarding their best player, and that being something I embrace. And I was able to touch on that a little bit in Europe when I was and just being able to build off of that and game after game, because obviously I didn't play that much last year in terms of, but like each game I feel like I took something away from that. So just learning and being ready to do whatever the team needs me to do, because that's what I feel like we need to win. And to answer the second question, I feel like it's been great. Jet's he's a talented guy. He's a great dude to be around. Obviously I've been around him for a long time, but like to be in a setting where we're both playing for a school that we love and a school that we grew up watching, it's pretty surreal. And he's a boatload of talent. So it's just like being able to teach him the game and teach him like little pointers here, because like he's a sponge, and so is the rest of the freshman class. So it's really fun to be able to like pick each other's brains and go at each other. Because I mean, to answer your question earlier, we're both pretty much sometimes matched up at each other at the 3 in practice. So being able to, he knows my moves, I know his moves. So it's been a great experience so far.
If you guys had to pick one person from a team that isn't yours, that's the hardest to guard, or that you think will be the hardest to guard this year, who would you say and why?
Looking at the teams up there, I'm glad. Probably, I think the easy answer is Zach Edey, just because he's like 7'3", 7'4". Just a really big guy, and Coach Painter obviously has a great system. He's accustomed to having other big guys like him, and so he runs a great offense and puts Zach in a lot of great spots to be able to be effective. And so for us, it's just trying to make it as difficult for him to catch and just making it as difficult for him to score as possible. So I think he's probably the hardest to guard based off his size and just the system Coach Painter runs.
I'd probably say Patrick McCaffrey from Iowa. I think him being 6'9" and can handle the ball the way that he does is very unique for any basketball player. And him, I think his ability to play 2 through 4 at such a high level and do each of those positions really well is something that makes it difficult for us to guard. So I've been watching a lot of film on him to see if I could take some stuff away from him and see like what we is going to be able to do for us to stop him, because he's a really, really skilled basketball player. But last year it was probably Ivy. I remember that Purdue game, I was sitting for the first like 30 minutes of the game and then had to go out there, go guard Ivy. I was like, he was probably the quickest guy I've ever went up against. So yeah, definitely those guys.
And then another question similar to that: if you could take or play with one other Big Ten player not from your team, who would it be and why?
Terrence Shannon from Illinois.
I mean, yeah. I'll probably say Terrence Shannon too. Great dude. Obviously,
There's a lot.
we spent some time with him, and I think he knows we have a lot of mutual friends. But yeah, he's a great dude.
Great guy.
Great guy.
I'd say Torrey Samuels at Minnesota. Shout out Dartmouth.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask about Youssef. Do you call him that, or you call him
Yo-yo.
Yo-yo.
Yeah, so he's kind of a mystery to us to a certain extent, since he didn't go to high school here and was kind of a late addition, I guess. Anything you can share about what he's like?
Athletic. He runs the floor. Probably one of the best floor runners I've ever seen. He's super quick. Great dude. He's really a sponge out there, willing to learn. You could tell he's just eager to get better every day. Could shoot the ball pretty well. Plays really hard on defense, and just like another asset that I think we have on this deep roster. Probably the deepest that we've had since I've been here too. So.
And he's a character off the floor.
Yeah.
He's starting to open up now.
Yeah.
He's a character. He's funny.
Jaelin, for you, what are some points of emphasis in your development as you go from Ivy League to Big Ten?
I think a point of emphasis would definitely be defensively. I'm going to be guarding different matchups and a lot of talent. There's talent on every team in this league, and as well as like conditioning is going to be a grind, and I'm just making sure I'm ready.
Jaelin, you were recruited by a lot of high majors out of high school. Princeton wasn't the only option. You could have played a Big Ten caliber program. Do you think you're more ready now because you had that experience in a mid-major program? What did you learn from playing at Princeton that you can apply now when you graduate?
I think Princeton was a different type of grind, both academically and athletically, and I think I learned to just grind through that college experience, and I think it gave me a lot of experience as well. I got to play pretty much 40 minutes as a freshman and throughout my 3 years because of COVID canceled my junior year, but I think it just gave me that experience to come in and step in right away and hopefully help us win some games.
I know they're very different players, but did playing with a big who could pass like Tosan help you a little bit for Hunter?
And playing with Tosan was awesome. He was like a guard and a big body a little bit in the Ivy League, but playing with Hunter is a different deal because he's much bigger, and people getting hit by these screens are they're going to hurt a lot more. But I'm excited.
Hunter had mentioned playing against Edie. Had a fair amount of matchups with 7-footers in this league, and more. I guess those types of games bring out the best forward to those.
I feel like I usually play up to the level of the event, or that was a bad way of putting it, but I feel like I rise to the occasion in those type of games. Usually, I think those games are always fun for me, going against another great big man, and in the Big Ten, it's pretty much every night that you're going to go against somebody. So I think it's a joy to be out there and play against great competition every night, because I feel like I'm a fierce competitor and something that I enjoy doing out there.
Hunter, in the early portions of last year, we asked you a lot of questions about playing with two bigs with Russo alongside you. This year, Joanne kind of indicated there might be some more 4-around-1 or more guys on the perimeter. How does that change anything for you, if at all?
I think it would probably open up the floor, obviously, a lot more. Having 4 guys around me that are going to be, capable shooters and high-level talents, I think opens the floor for me and makes it harder for teams to try to come double-team me now.
Hunter, how do you think, along those lines, this Michigan team is different from the one a year ago?
I think this team just fits a little bit better than last year. I feel like last year, I think the people that were on the team last year would say, just out of raw talent, we probably had more talent last year than this year, just from a raw talent perspective. But I think this year the pieces fit a lot better. And don't get me wrong, we still have a lot of talent this year. We got Jace Howard, who is definitely going to be an NBA player. And now we got 2 transfers in Jaelin and Joey that are going to be high impacts for us. And so we definitely brought in a lot of talent, but I think this talent fits a lot better. And I feel like the guys play for each other a lot more this year. And I think it's just going to be a lot more successful season for us.
Sometimes just because you have on-paper talent doesn't always mean that the results are going to show. So when you talk about that fit, do you feel like maybe this Michigan team is getting underrated just a bit in what they could do and what you guys could do come March?
Yeah, I feel like people think we have a lot of question marks around our team. We got some transfers that are going to come in and some freshmen that are going to come in and play a lot of minutes. And be a high amount of volume for us this year. I definitely think we're being underrated, but I think that's fine for us. We don't need to be, one of the. Well, I guess we still are one of the favorites to win the Big Ten, but I think it'll be fun for us this year. I think we'll catch a lot of people by surprise like we did my freshman year, and I think we'll be a really good team.
Thank you, everyone.
Look out for Joey, man.